Good morning, bandits. You are live with Jonathan Manus, aka the One Leg Bandit, and I'm here for Clear Cryptos. And it's a beautiful Monday morning. It's been a super wild card weekend. We got Tom Brady tonight on Monday Night Football, playing, against. I'm sorry, so excited this morning. But Tom Brady is playing tonight, and me and Zach Humphries is going to get in here and talk a little bit about cryptocurrency and all the great things that's been happening. So without further ado, going ahead and bringing in Zach Humphries.
Good morning, man. What's happening?
Good morning. I still get so nervous when I start these things, man. It's just been a beautiful ride, and it's a great time to be alive.
Yeah, man. You know what they say. If you get nervous a little bit, that's good because it just means you're excited. You're ready to go. I do too, man. But it's been an awesome week. And, now I'm looking at this week and saying, okay, so last week happened. We kind of burst on the scene and shocked the world a little bit. And now this week we get to see if it's for real or not, if this is going to sustain. And we're right up against some big moving averages across the board for SHIB and Bitcoin. So going to be an exciting week, man, and looking forward to it. Happy to be here this morning with you.
Man, it's great. Everything is still moving. Like you said earlier, it's kind of put up or shut up for the Bulls right now. We're against that 200 EMA, and it's an exciting time. But with all that being said, as last night in our live stream, we talked about this. This is the opportunity for the Bulls to take control right now. They have the space in the charts. They have, the power behind them. I say we wake up this Monday morning, this beautiful Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and let's push. Let's go.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it, 100%. And it'll be interesting to see too, because a lot of people at home, maybe they're checking in on their crypto wallets a little bit, and they're pleasantly surprised. Some people who've maybe haven't looked at it in a few months, maybe they're looking at where they can maybe even add some more today. So we'll see what happens, man. But it's exciting times, and yeah, I'm pulling for your Bucks tonight too. Hopefully they get it done.
I'm pulling for them too. They've kind of been, not playing up to par. They've been missing some pieces, but everybody knows if you give Tom Brady time, he can find his targets. But it's going to be a beautiful game no matter what. This weekend was great for football. It was outstanding.
Yeah, just great games. Yeah, great games. Of course, it's kind of crazy. Florida's got all three teams in the playoffs this year. That's pretty nuts. And Miami gave Buffalo a good run yesterday too. So yeah, it's exciting, man.
Yeah, Skylar Thompson, he can sling that ball around. Kansas State, that was a great game as well. But circling back here to crypto, so we've got Shibarium, all the news coming out. Everybody's just now starting to see it. I'm still seeing everybody asking what's going on, and we'll share some of that here in a little bit. But basically, the roadmap was laid out, and it's like me and you had thought about. It's going to be broken out in little pieces, but there's nothing wrong with that as long as we know where we are in the process. How do you feel?
Yeah, 100%, and that was what was said from the beginning. And I think it's a smart decision. I've always said from day one, Jonathan, it's not about rushing it out and just getting it out the door and saying, hey, we did it. It's done. Especially in, these times, let's get it right. And I think Shytoshi and company are looking at it in that same vein as well. We don't want to just rush a product out there and then have to, basically fix it for months on end. Instead, we'll roll it out. I mean, they're going to have a heavy testing period. And when it's ready to go, fully functional after rounds and rounds of testing, let's get this thing out here and let's take the SHIB army to the next level, because this is what we've been waiting for, right? This is what's so exciting right now about Shiba Inu. These two things, and I know you're going to have Marcy on later this week, Shibarium and the metaverse. These are the main two utilities. To me, now SHIB is just getting started, because now we have some really interesting utilities that are going to bring the masses in and really grow this ecosystem and take it to the next level. So 2021 was great, but I think we've got much better years ahead now that we're laying the foundation, and we've got utility working in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, the other night I was on the SHIB Shop Spaces, and they want to have 100 million SHIB holders, okay? They're not joking about that number. Right now we're at 1.26. They want 100 million. Now, let me tell you something. We was just talking about Tom Brady, the GOAT of the NFL, and a lot of people's opinion. I'm about to bring in the GOAT of cryptocurrency. Good morning.
Oh, man. There he is.
Man, wow, that's thanks for the intro. Wow,
Do you know how privileged I feel right now? I have the GOAT first thing in the morning. The brain is cranking. We are rocking and rolling. And how do you feel about this Shib and all this great news that's going on right now?
It's cool, man. I was getting on a plane when the all the stuff went down, and Zach's texting me like Shibarium medium update, and I'm like, well, hell, I can't do anything about that right now. So no, it's cool, man. I think I think it's like I was listening to Zach. It's been a long time coming, right? I mean, relatively, right? They've been in development. They're going to get this right. I think that one thing I really love about what I'm seeing is I feel like how the dev team is communicating with us has dramatically changed. I feel like they are doing a way better job of communicating, and so I really applaud that. I think the 48-hour countdown timer thing that they did, I think that was kind of a lesson that they kind of, they're growing up. Not to say that they were immature. That's not my point. They're just getting better, right? They're getting more. And so I like that. And I agree with everything that Zach said, metaverse, but Shibarium is, to me, the centerpiece of the entire ecosystem. That's really what it comes down to, because it will be the heart and soul of everything. And I like that we're getting confirmation that Shiba Swap's going to be going to be on top of it with the mainnet launch. I assumed they were going to be able to do this, but I love that they talked about the fact that outside companies and development organizations will be able to, develop dApps, and NFT projects will be able to develop. All that stuff I just assumed. I wasn't saying anything about those in those videos, and I don't think Zach was either. None of us really were, because I didn't have confirmation. Was it going to be a closed architecture? We're only going to develop our own stuff. No, they're doing it right. They're letting other people, develop and deploy, because, hey, that just makes it even bigger, better, faster. Oh, by the way, creates more transactions. All that kind of stuff is good. So there you go.
Beautiful, man. And Zach, we was talking about this last night. The community now feels it. They feel it. They feel like it's real. That's why we got the instant spike in Bone, in Leash, and Shib. And I know it's just a good feeling to not have to guess what's going on. The transparency, as Austin was saying, is making people at ease and realize how early they are in the whole process with the Shiba Inu ecosystem.
100%. And, to Austin's point there, I'm excited to see what kind of companies and what kind of dApps they do bring into the ecosystem. Shaitoshi kind of alluded to it a little bit. I think it was on Discord or something. I saw a screenshot, but one of the companies that I've actually talked a little bit about, UFO Gaming. And there were a couple other big gaming companies that seems to be a focal point for them moving forward, and allowing some of these gaming projects to run on top of Shibarium and help them scale. So excited about that, because Shib is just this massive 800-pound gorilla in the room now. And now it has the opportunity to reach across the aisle and help all these different smaller communities. But in doing so, you're obviously helping your own cause too, right? Because you're tying in so many different people from all different sectors like gaming. And I agree. Shibarium is the glue. Everything's going to run through it. Excited about the future here, and definitely excited to see what happens with Bone and Leash, and I think now really the time is now for Bone and Leash, because we've been talking about how they're going to be integrated in, and how we're going to see this whole thing interact, and now we get to see it in real time. Bone, of course, has been running hot, and I think Leash will start running too. I do.
I absolutely do. And Austin, this morning, tell everyone how you feel about the metaverse. I know you have a little different perspective on it, but how do you feel that the metaverse is going to come to fruition and play into this whole ecosystem?
I wanted to say something like, somebody's commenting like grandpa's up. That was funny. I was going to say something like, well, the metaverse, no. Here's the thing. Oh God. Okay. You're actually making me think, and like, I'll probably say something controversial. Here's the thing. I think that what I know is this. I think that Shiba Inu's metaverse is going to look and be stunning. I think we've seen the screenshots, we've seen the artist renderings, all that kind of stuff. And I think they've hired a fantastic company to help them with that process, et cetera. I think that when I hear metaverse, what sticks with me is, how and when are people really going to get into it and it be massively adopted in mainstream? That's what it comes back to for me. I think that the metaverse is a component. It's a if you're a viable, real crypto project in one way or the other, you need and have to have really kind of a metaverse component, and depending upon what you do, right? I mean, obviously, if you're a project like Shiba Inu, et cetera, but what is the real adoption going to be? I think that's really my question, is how and when is it going to be adopted? I mean, do I really see myself with my Oculus goggles and hanging out in the metaverse? Not necessarily today, and my son's 14 and he actually doesn't even care about the metaverse. To give you an example, I mean, it's not even on his radar, and he's pretty tech savvy. He's a teenager and all those kind of things. That's my answer. It's not really, my answer is not, Bandit, not about Shiba Inu's metaverse. It's more about metaverse in general, metaverse adoption. So I'm going to throw that question back to either one of you who want to take that and kind of go, hey, no, you're wrong. Or maybe it's this, but that's kind of what my opinion of the metaverse is right now.
And I wanted to start with you for that opinion, because I wanted to let people see kind of both sides. A lot of people are not tied into it yet. And the reason why I have up on the screen right here, this big event that Marcy Jastrow is going to be at March the 10th to the 19th, the SXSW, is going to actually be the first time that you get to see the beauty of the metaverse as far as how Shib's going to bring it out. So, Zach, how are you feeling? Same question. What are you thinking about the metaverse, and how far down the road do you think it'll be before we get to dive into it?
I agree with Austin on one level that it is kind of abstract right now. Like, it's hard to kind of rack your brain around like what this looks like, what it means, how we're going to use it, how we're going to be in it, what does it do for us. But I do think that when I think about the metaverse, I just think that we've been moving in this digital age, for a long time. We've been getting more and more one with technology, if you will, embedded in it. And I mean, I kind of say, look at your screen time on your phone. You're kind of living in the metaverse right now, right? I mean, people are spending 6-7 hours on this thing a day. So we're kind of living in this virtual world already. I just think it's going to get more immersive. I think that's really what the difference is with the metaverse. It's going to be almost like, kind of scary a little bit maybe, but it's almost like you're going to be able to not really know if what's real or not, right? It's going to be just more immersive. You're going to be in it. What that looks like for crypto, what that looks like for brands, we've heard a little bit about it. Jonathan, I know you've talked about it, and you could speak on it really well in talking to Marcy. I guess it's a wait and see approach, but here's what I'll say. I believe in it because technology doesn't stop. No. We just keep doing more. We just keep making it better. We just keep making it bigger, and whatever that looks like, I'm here for it. And I think that Facebook doesn't change their name to Meta, just out of the blue. There's big companies that are building out their own metaverses. I think inside crypto, the real question is, what's going to be the metaverse that really gains mainstream adoption first? Because you've got Sandbox, you've got the Decentraland. After that, you've got a lot of other people just now building out their metaverses. Shiba Inu, one of them. Which one really capitalizes on the market share here, when this thing goes mainstream?
Well, I want to give some love. Of course, I am a Shib homer. All right. I'm a diehard Shib. But let me tell you why Shib is going to outsmart a lot of folks, okay? Shib realizes that they have to bring the businesses in. And I want to let you know, when you go into the Shib metaverse, when they get this all built out, you may be a small business, but you become a global business when you step into this metaverse. Even if you sell cookies, or if you sell soap, or if you sell cups, whatever you do, you are now a worldwide business. And it's just like that with the internet. But here's the cool thing: when you put these goggles on, you can actually see everything 3D, flip clothes around, add different things to the experience of shopping, and then purchase everything right there in the metaverse, which will be on the Shibarium network. So everything is going to tie together, and Marcy's going to explain it better on Thursday night. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not. Hit the notification for Thursday night. Please show up, bandits. I love you. And just so y'all know, because of these fellas right here and all of you, I passed 20,000 subscribers, and I thank you all so very much. I love you, and let's continue to grow.
Congrats, man.
But I feel positive about the metaverse. Now, one thing I do want you to know, just like with everything, Shib, it's not overnight, but that's, again, we are so early. They've already put out when they want to release some of these things in June or July, correct, Zach? Isn't that what Marcy said?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're going to make some headway later this year. And just as a total sidebar, Jonathan, and also I was just reading up, like I'm nerding out a little bit. So the term metaverse was actually coined back in 1992, which is kind of crazy, right? By
Hmm.
author Neil Stevenson in his sci-fi novel. So it's kind of crazy. You think about all the sci-fi stuff that we thought, oh my gosh, that'll never be a thing, and it's a thing.
Well,
I want to hold on, Jonathan. I want to go back real quickly to something that Zach brought up that I think was interesting. A point that I didn't make. I think it's about adoption, right? And I think Zach, that was really a good point. For is the metaverse the next big thing? Hell yeah, I agree with that completely. I think that it is the next kind of the big next frontier. In fact, I personally think it's crypto metaverse, right? I mean, that's kind of literally how I think of them. And so but if you want to, in my opinion, if you want to break down adoption, what has to happen for massive adoption? It has to be so stupidly easy to do it, period. And that tech is not there yet. And to your point, Zach, it's very fragmented now, right? You have Meta, which is Facebook. You have Shiba, and I think what's going to evolve is people are going to be in their, because again, I'm going to go in Shiba Inu's metaverse now. Now I'm going to go into Sandbox metaverse. I think that a lot of that will play out over time. Will there be those different metaverse experiences? Yes, there will be. But I think there will be one. I mean, look at what Facebook did, right? And MySpace and all that kind of stuff. Look at what Facebook did. I'm not saying it's going to be Facebook, but I'm saying that there will be one dominant winner that will, and it may be, I hope it is. It may be Shiba Inu as an example, right? But ultimately, that's not even really my main point. It's about adoption. It's about making it so easy like this, right? Like, for example, crypto mass adoption right now is not here yet because of this device, meaning it's not easy to buy and sell and use my crypto with this device. Yes, I know you can have credit card, cards from crypto.com and things like that, but it's not just like this easy. And so when it becomes this easy, I can literally turn it in a minute or whatever it is, then it's mass adoption.
And I want go ahead, Zach.
Yep.
Go, Zach.
That's a really good point, and I love this. I love this conversation because we're all trying to kind of wrap our heads around this and see what it's going to be. When we think about like sectors, I think e-commerce is going to be huge right out of the gate because like we already do all our shopping online. Like Amazon obviously has taken full control over how we shop, right? I mean, the idea of you buying a piece of clothing before Amazon really came to fruition was crazy, right? I'm going to buy something without trying it on in the store, really? Well, yeah, and then now that's mainstream, right? So imagine actually being able to try it on, virtually before you buy it, right? So again, it's just getting better. The tech's getting better. So I think
Zach, to that point, wouldn't it be cool, right? On that, like, I mean, just saying before you leave, like for me, buying clothes is a pain in the ass. I got that little bit of that little bit of dad bod, but wouldn't it be cool to go into say Amazon's metaverse and go, they've literally taken a digital scan of me and they can apply that to that shirt and go, this is going to fit like shit, or it's going to fit really good, or whatever it is. Right. Bandit, you're with me. You kind of got that little dad bod going on, don't you? A little bit, maybe
a little bit.
But yeah, sorry, Zach, I interrupted. Go ahead. I just want to get that off my brain. Yeah.
I think e-commerce, gaming, entertainment. I mean, imagine watching a concert in the metaverse. You can't be there in person, but now you're basically there in person. Imagine, I mean, they're already doing it with sporting games as well, right? Like you can literally pay for a seat behind the backboard at an NBA game. Like that's the metaverse. Like that's that similar technology where like, you got the best seat in the house, but you're still on the couch, So I think entertainment, gaming, the e-commerce side, even education. I mean, imagine like, I was an educator before I went full-time on YouTube. We were doing Zoom. I mean, Zoom's cool, and that was a groundbreaking, earth-shattering thing, but that's nothing compared to if we can actually feel like we're in the same room together in the metaverse, right? Like that would be insane, right? So there's just so many different possibilities to
Zach, think of the revenue streams associated with that, right?
Oh.
I mean,
the
college could, college, the NBA, all these are massive additional revenue streams.
100%.
Both of y'all have spoke to you about this before. There's a company called MetaKeep that is going to make getting your wallet extremely easy, like you said. They are literally who's working with Ticketmaster and all these other companies that whenever you put your email in, you now have a wallet for your NFTs and for your crypto. So that easy adoption that Austin was talking about is coming. These people already know what they have to do to get us in the game. That's for sure. They're not going to build a beautiful game and make it extremely difficult to get in the game, you know? The last few years has been difficult. I'm not even joking. Helping 567 people get set up with a wallet takes at least an hour a person, because you have to describe to them, hey, if you lose these keys, you lose the access to your, your nest egg or whatever you're doing, and you have to go over all the thousands, or hundreds of steps, it seems like. But it's been a beautiful ride getting to meet people like that. But still, it's going to get much easier. Email address, and boom, you're in the game.
100%.
All right, so let's transition a little bit, and let's talk a little bit before we move off of SHIB, though. Let's talk a little bit about all the documentation that was released. Again, Zach, what was your favorite part of the release yesterday?
I just, in general, I liked how thorough it was, and then they're encouraging people to read through it, understand, what validators mean, what delegators mean in the ecosystem, how Bone's going to be utilized. So I know I'm not pinpointing it on one thing, but I just like the makeup of the document, how thorough it was. And then, of course, toward the end, the burning, right? The big question now is, what's going to be that percentage? What's going to be that percentage of every transaction that's burned? And I'm sure they're working out all the details there. But, you go back to 2021, right? I mean, the amount of daily volume SHIB had was insane. If you can get even 50% of that volume to run through Shibarium and every single transaction. I mean, there were days where it was $30-40 billion of volume. I mean, if you can get just 25% of that volume running through Shibarium and not on the exchanges, not on Uniswap and what have you, whatever that percentage is, it's going to be unbelievable for SHIB.
Exactly. And like Austin was just saying, can you imagine having a huge concert where 1 million people come to in the Shibverse, the transactions that happen in that one show and the burn of that one show?
Wow.
It's all at our fingertips now. We can actually feel it and see it,
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point.
It's going to be crazy. So, Austin, go ahead and take the floor. What do you want to talk about this morning?
I'm barely awake, man.
You awake?
I actually did set my alarm to get up for this, so just FYI, I'm like, I'm my wife's asleep, my son's asleep, and I'm barely awake, and so
that's a long day of traveling.
Well, on the list we got CRO on the move. Have you seen that this morning?
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, Crow just crossed over 8 cents.
Here's what I want to talk about. I think that this is a big week for crypto. I think that crypto needs to continue with the massive gains we had, poking back up over 1 trillion, and now we're back to 970 billion. I think that if we can keep the positive momentum, not lose what we have, B, get some more green days, and I'm talking about overall market. I think that this is a massive week, and I think this is kind of the test week. Because historically, we see these big pumps, and I want to see us continue to move forward. And I'm not talking about major, massive green candles, but where we get incremental moves up across the market. Bitcoin, Ethereum, SHIB, all these guys, I want to see them move up. That's what I want to see.
And go ahead, Zach.
No, 100%. I agree with Austin too, and I mentioned that to you, Jonathan, as soon as we came on. This is really big because right now Bitcoin sitting at 20,860. That is literally right at the 200-day moving average. That is the last threshold that we need to get above. So if you look at the technicals on pretty much every major cryptocurrency, they're right up against their 200-day moving average. So is SHIB. For Shiba Inu, if you're looking at the price point, it's the 1119 range. You get above that 1119 range, now all of a sudden you've got room to go. So to Austin's point, we don't have to explode from here, but consolidation here, maybe just above that 200-day moving average, and just shows some ability to sustain what we've built up here this past week. That's going to be massive for this thing to continue, into January and leading up to the big Fed meeting coming up.
Outstanding. And, I've seen the bulls. They've all flipped the switch. Even the big bulls, the banks, the big money is coming back in here. You can see the millions and billions of dollars just flying back in here. And things are getting, exciting again. People are having fun and calling and asking about crypto. And the people that I missed are like, hey, man, I didn't get back with you. Let's get this wallet set up. It's exciting times again.
Yeah, it really has turned on since the beginning of the year, man. It really has.
I think that's the other factor. Is the trust factor back? And I'm talking about overriding crypto because of FTX and SBF. Is the trust factor back? That's the question, and I think that's what I really want to see. But I mean, it's cool. Like, I mean, even like projects like Clear Cryptos is moving up, so I love that that the overriding market is moving, and to see, Clear picking back up, and to see, overriding enthusiasm coming back into the market is absolutely awesome.
It is. Yeah. Every morning, we wake up with Hinak Crypto yelling at us on all different social medias, and he's up like 180,000 this morning. I mean, good for you, Hinak. We love you, and thank you for bringing as many people into crypto as you do.
Man, that's funny. Yeah. He actually lives in Dallas, Jonathan. I don't know if you know that. So I've had lunch with him, and I'm not outing him, but he is way more different when you're just sitting across the table from him, because I kind of expected for the whole meeting at lunch to be like, I'm like, but no, he's a cool guy, but I can only take so much of Hinak, like just doing his thing. I like him, but man, woo. I even told him, I'm like, I expected this whole lunch for you to be yelling at me, and he just laughed at me. It was funny, though.
He hits his hardcore in the morning, that's for sure. And I'm very glad that, he put $1 million on the line out there, for everybody. Not many people can do that. Not many people want to share their personal wallets. A lot of people have a bunch of different wallets, but to put it out there and to show the journey, that's what we're all doing. We're trying to say, hey, look, this is the journey that we're on. Look, we get beat down 90%. He was not scared at all because he believed in this project. And that's what we're trying to tell you. We never tell you what to buy here on our channels, but what we do is try to bring you the best information and bring you the best people so you can get involved with the right projects for success. That's for sure. And that's why we talk about Clear Cryptos, Shiba Inu, and a bunch of different ones all the time. But we're definitely about to dig into Clear Cryptos. Early is the word for Clear Cryptos. Zach, what do you think about that?
100%. And even though we moved up about 72% last week, it's still early. We're still sitting at about 5.5 cents. We saw the all-time high. I think we got up to about 18 cents right when this thing launched. And yeah, I mean, I agree 100% that the big things that they're building have not even scratched the surface to what they've already put out there. That much we can say. And you're going to want to be subscribed to the Clear Cryptos YouTube channel. That's where we're going to have some breaking news and all of our personal channels. And I'm excited because, it's really a breath of fresh air, Jonathan. I think you and I were talking about this off air last night, to really be part of something that can seriously change DeFi, right? A lot of people have that hope and dream, but I don't look at this as a hope and dream. I look at it as a reality. They can really do it with, the people they have in place, the resources they have, the connections they have. Everything needs to be reimagined and redesigned for the blockchain. And that's something coming directly from the people at the top at CCX. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to solve a ton of different problems in business. And I'm here for it, man. I'm excited to be here, for it with both you guys and everybody. And it's definitely one to check out. We can't tell you what to buy, but you want to take a look at it and do your due diligence. That's for sure.
Austin, your thoughts on Clear Cryptos?
Who are you talking about? No.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them. I don't know. Tell me about them. No. I mean, leadership. I mean, the vision of what they're doing and the sheer scope and magnitude of what they're trying to accomplish is breathtaking at times. Again, we can't talk about a lot of it. It's coming. But I would tell you this. I mean, I would just look at board of directors. I would look at they launch with utility, and up 72% off of really no news. I mean, quite frankly, that's a good thing. I like that, right? And there's not a specific catalyst out there. They've got, more exchanges coming, and they've been quietly and doing the work. I think that's really what it comes down to. And I think that they're just every single day, all of us, us are talking to the key people involved, and we're seeing what they're doing. And it's exciting to see them, putting together this thing that is going to change. And I actually love one of the things that one of the key guys said was that he actually considers the bear market, the launch, to be a blessing, right? And to be something that helped them, instead of, when you launch a project in a bull market, you are so busy just trying to keep up. You don't stop and get it, all these different things, build for the future. And I mean, yes, they were going to do that anyway, but that really made them put their head down and do the work. That's what I love. And so I think that they're building this thing that is just going to be massive, and there's big stuff coming, and that's what I like. So there you go.
Yeah, and my 2 cents on this is all these businesses don't know it yet, but they're going to have to get involved in the blockchain. All right. If you're not involved in the blockchain, what's going to happen over the next 3 to 5 years? Are you're going to get smoked like a pack of Marlboros. And let me tell you why. If you are selling medical supplies like I do, manusveteranmedical.com, and then somebody's on the blockchain selling medical supplies and their whole network is just so much smoother, so much more hands off. Okay. Nobody picking up the phone, calling you to place an order. All they're doing is pushing a button, and then everything is taken care of from A to Z, even getting paid. That is going to take you out of the ball game with the big guys. Okay. So if you want to play ball with the big guys, you're either going to step up and get involved, or you're going to miss out. And it's the truth about it. So all small businesses need to be on alert and get ready to grind, get ahead of the game, reach out to Clear Cryptos, reach out to myself, figure out how you can get ahead of the game and take your market share before everybody else catches up. Because being small, this is one thing I know. You're much more nimble, much more quicker, much more faster at making decisions, so you can grow your business before people come and try and smash you out. And I'm all about small business, so keep grinding, everybody.
Jonathan, that's a great point. And I know Austin can speak to this a little bit too, but it pays to be one of the first movers and shakers, right? In any new industry. And, you look at the .com era, if you were a small business back then and you said, oh no, I'll keep my brick and mortar, this online thing's just a fad, right? It'll phase out. I don't need to make that pivot. Obviously, that probably didn't play out well for you. But if you were one of those people that took a leap of faith and saw the technology and understood that it was going to streamline things and make you grow and make you reach, the masses, to your point right there, blockchain is going to make things so much easier from point A to point Z. So that first mover advantage for these businesses, and there's a lot of businesses out there that aren't yet on the blockchain, they're going to win big. And so that's how I really see Clear stepping in just one way, right, is being that liaison to get them into Web3, get them into blockchain, show them the strengths of blockchain and what it can do for them. So I think that's a really, really good point, and it can't be, overstated. I think that's critical for sure.
And what you think, Austin, about that business side?
I lived it. Again, I'm 50 years old, 50. So I lived it. I lived, in 2000, I was trying to started a .com to sell trailer hitches and brake pads and all this stuff. And I lived it. And part of what I was doing at that time was I owned that business with my dad. I've told the story many times. But part of my key role in that was going out and trying to find other products to layer into our existing offerings. So I was calling a lot of these, these automotive, different parts like truck accessories and things like that. Right. And I was talking to I'd talk to 10 companies a day, and I can tell you 9 out of 10 of them at that time, this was in 2000, 2001, would be like, the internet? What the hell is that? You got to have yourself. I'm embellishing, but that was literally it. You got to have brick and mortar. You got to have your store over there on Main Street. This internet thing ain't going to happen. It's dead, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of those companies did not make it. And we were on the cutting edge of what we were doing, but I'm only using that as an illustrative point. I have seen this. I have lived this. I have seen it. And the companies that don't adopt, and by the way, Amazon going live with their relationship, their big announcement, and and all that kind of stuff. That's the first, to me, when Amazon came out with that press release. And Zach, I apologize, brain fart. Who did they partner with? I just forgot.
Avalanche.
Thank you. God, just could not think of it. Avalanche. When they partner with Avalanche, it's awesome for Avalanche. But to me, the lead story there was Amazon. The lead story was Amazon saying, blockchain. We're doing it. We're putting it in with AWS. You got a lot of companies now that went, holy shit, we got to wake up. And we should. And the smart ones are paying attention. But I guarantee you, north of 50+% of them are not. They're not even looking. They're not.
That is so true. I mean, and so Amazon, I mean, but look at the other Starbucks with Polygon. Why are they doing that? Why are they why are they making their loyalty rewards program into an NFT program? Because it opens up so many possibilities that, you know, the archaic loyalty reward system, the punch card system doesn't allow for, right? Now, I mean, loyalty rewards are going to be massive for brands. I think this is like low-hanging fruit. Now, your rewards are literally yours. You own them. What if you could trade your loyalty rewards cards? What if you have $25 gift card as your loyalty reward in Starbucks? Now you could trade it for something else that this other person has. Now you can trade these assets back and forth. It's not just a punch card and get a free coffee. So this is just one area, right? And you look at some of the other big partnerships with NFTs, Mercedes-Benz, DraftKings, all different sectors. You know, that's low-hanging fruit. It's when you see these big companies doing it, it's probably a smart decision to look at and say, well, how can it help my business?
It definitely is. And look, y'all, it's coming so fast. There is no competition in this realm. All right. This realm for the next 5 to 10 years is so big that if you want to get a job, if you want to grow, if you want to do YouTube, if you want to do blockchain, it is out there. Just come in the door, learn what you can do, spend some time learning, get with people that know what the deal is, and get involved in this industry. You will be successful. Please, chat, share this out, get some more people in here. Hashtag the One Leg Bandit, hashtag Clear Cryptos. Whatever you can do to help us grow, we love you and thank you so much. Let's see here. All right, let's continue on. So let's talk a little bit more about the price action and where we see it going. This is just our thoughts on it. What are you thinking, Austin? Are we going to get above the 200 EMA and start rocking, or do you think we might have a little pullback here? How are you feeling?
We're talking about SHIB or Bone? SHIB?
Well, I mean, just the whole market in general. You know,
the whole market. Oh,
Bitcoin's close to popping, you know, and everything seems like it's moving in the right direction. But what are your thoughts on it?
I think this week's crucial and key. I think if we can maintain and move forward and not move back, then yes, I think that we will be going. I think the only issue, obviously, we've got the Fed, the FOMC meeting out there that is in, approximately 14, 15 days. The expectations, 25 basis points. I think that number's been built into the market. If we get a surprise there, if we get 50 basis points instead of 25, then I think that's not good. But I think that's the number built in the market. And so I guess for me, it really hinges on that. It hinges on kind of what's going to happen, because I've said this before, and Zach and I've had these conversations, and I know, for me, I'm kind of like, looking at, is there this bad event thing out there? I don't think the FTX SBF thing is really going to, I mean, there may still be some fallout, but I think all the big, heavy damage is done. But to me, the more damage of that was the confidence that the retail investor and, the big and money, the confidence it shook. I think that's returning. I think it's February 1, release of the FOMC, the Fed. What are they going to do? I think that's the massive big thing. With that said, if we can move forward and have to Zach's point, if we can either consolidate or maybe get a little movement up and get a base to build from, I think that sets us up. If we move back this week, just because, that will be an indicator to me in lack of confidence, trust, confidence in the market. And because there's really nothing else going on. That's kind of where I'm at. And so that's my answer. My answer is kind of like, got to wait and see. That's my answer. So Zach, I'll throw it to you, man.
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah. And so before I say this, cause I don't want to be like, oh, you're the fudder. No, I'm bullish long-term crypto here, but there's one thing that's kind of looming. I just sent it to you too in the private chat, Jonathan. It's the whole Genesis issue right now. And so the SEC has sued them. So basically, DCG is the company behind Genesis. Genesis, so it's like DCG, here it is, DCG up here, Genesis, and then Gemini. So Gemini is getting caught in this trap because of how DCG and Genesis were so tied to FTX. They too owe a lot of their customers money. That's how it trickles down to Gemini through their Earn program. There's about 340,000 investors who are kind of stuck in the mud right now and they're not seeing their money. How does that all play out? Here's the thing. This news has been out there and it hasn't really affected the market in the last week. So that's the positive note, right? But I think keeping tabs on that lead story is probably one to watch. That could move the market depending on kind of how that plays out. So we'll see. But again, all in all, I'm still bullish long-term crypto. And again, these sort of things like FTX and this Genesis situation, they've got to work themselves out now because we want better days ahead. And that's how we get there, right? We move the bad actors, the people who are over leveraged, these lending platforms who were not operating as they should. We got to move them out of the space. So we'll see.
We all have to take control of our own crypto. Please, we've always talked about this. Crypto platforms, they have a reason. They are easy in some ways, but as soon as you possibly can, learn decentralization, learn how to handle your own crypto. It's beautiful watching your crypto go up in your MetaMask. It's the same as in another type of exchange, except the one thing is nothing's going to happen to your tokens as long as you keep hold of your keys. Your keys, your crypto.
It's a really good point. And I think that really opens the door for DeFi, Jonathan, too. I think DeFi is going to get a big boom because of this, especially when they make it easier. That's something Clear Cryptos is doing, by the way. As soon as they can streamline that process, I think it'll be great for DeFi.
Well, it's exciting times. It really is. The growth, the money's flying in. I think we got some more good news coming this week. I think the Bulls are going to take control here. We will see. But I just want to say again, thank both of you so very much for being here and lifting me up. And thank you for going on this ride with me. I want to leave you with the last thoughts like I always do. Austin, what's your last thoughts for this week and this morning?
Again, I'm not as caffeinated for this. I'm not on my game quite yet. Let's see. Zach's been up for like 5 hours, on that East Coast thing. Here's the thing. I desperately want us to have a good week. I think if we have a good week this week, and by the way, I'm defining good as just consolidation. That's fine. I don't want to see us go back. Kind of like what Zach said. I'm definitely a glass half full kind of guy. And to have lived through 22, sitting in this seat every single day, that was not an experience I want to go through again. And I'm extremely bullish on 23 in general. I mean, we got the halving event for Bitcoin in 24. Bitcoin has never had 2 years back-to-back down years. Okay. So again, there's a lot out there that I'm very excited about. I'm to kind of bring this to clear cryptos. It's going to be amazing to have a front row seat at Clear and to see all of the things they're doing. I think that people are going to be shocked, to say the least, to what Clear is doing. I think that people think that Clear is just another crypto project, and it is not, and to see how they're to have had the blessing of to see how they're building a business and building a company and building a movement that with their stated goal is to make crypto better. That is what they're executing on. And it's just going to be awesome to see that come to fruition. So there you go. Actually, I did pretty good for not being caffeinated. That wasn't bad.
Great.
I got nothing to say now. You took everything.
Drop the mic. I'm out. I'll see you.
Yeah. I mean, I reiterate all of that. And I think, it really is a put up or shut up week now, because this past week, amazing. All right. Now what's really going to happen here? Are we going to sustain it? I think somebody made the point in chat that, maybe the traders will be out today. A lot of people, with the stock market being closed, maybe that'll get some people to check into crypto a little bit, see things are moving. That could help us a little bit. But yeah, I think it's all about getting over that 200-day moving average and then consolidating from there. If we move up from there, great. But let's just maintain what we've built here in the last week to 10 days, really since January 1st, since the turn of the new year. And we'll see what happens then, because then we get closer to the Fed meeting.
Absolutely. Everybody, continue to share us out. Remember, we all are one big community. We love you, and just continue to lift crypto up. Okay. The more times you hashtag something, the more times you share it, the more we all grow together. So we love you. Have a beautiful day and enjoy football tonight. And thank you so much, team. We will see you on the next one.